Namaste. Today I wanted to do a practice for those days when you just don't feel like doing a practice. There are some days when we wake up and we just don't feel like it, or you've got to the end of your day and you just feel like you haven't got the energy. So this is a short-ish practice for when you just don't feel like you can get on the mat, but you know it will make all the difference if you do. So I suggest that when you feel like that, chest openers or back bends are a really nice way to gently lift your energy if they're done gently. And it can be a really nice way to sort of transform that sluggish energy into something a little bit more useful. So if you really are getting up first thing in the morning and you want to do a yoga, but you haven't got the energy, then I suggest a rolled up blanket or towel. But if you do quite a lot of physical stuff with your neck and shoulders and your arms and your upper back, you might find that using the T-shaped blocks is a little bit more useful for you. So I will demonstrate first this over the blanket, and then I'm going to swap to the other one. So you get your rolled up blanket. You want to sit with it along the length of your yoga space, but right up against your low back, and then just recline down over. Something underneath your head. If your blanket isn't long enough to go underneath your head, then placing something underneath your head. And initially just allowing your legs to be bent with your feet on the floor and your arms to relax away from the sides of the body. The palms turned upwards if that's comfortable. And all you're doing is giving the back an opportunity to find a different shape, giving a little bit of space to that area underneath the rib cage, which allows us to breathe a little deeper into the lungs, instead of that sort of crunched up, folded forward position we find ourselves in a lot of the day. And if it feels comfortable to be here, you might want to extend your legs as well. You'll get increasing level of benefit from this posture by extending the legs, but only if it's comfortable to do that. And you simply breathe here, developing a long, deep breath. So that sluggish energy we sometimes find in our bodies can also be in our breath. So finding a long, deep breath. A full yogic breath if you're familiar with it. Using a little bit of engagement of the abdominal muscles as you exhale, just to gently press some of that air that doesn't get exchanged usually out of the lungs. And even if you try and breathe out everything you've got in your lungs, there will always be a residual buffer of air in the lungs. So it's not possible to breathe everything out for most people. So don't worry about being breathless. And after a few deep breaths, perhaps focusing, allowing your breath to stay in that rhythm, but focusing on relaxing the backs of the shoulders towards the floor, opening up the chest, opening up the whole of the front of the body. And if you're comfortable over your blanket, you can stay there. And if, like me, your body needs just a little bit more stimulation because of the hard work the muscles do, then setting up your T-shaped blocks. So one block on its long orientation and one block sideways. And we're aiming to get those blocks underneath the upper back, between the shoulder blades for the long block and underneath the head for the other block. And if this is too open for your throat, you can have the block underneath your head on its highest orientation to offer a little bit more support. Principle remains the same. This is still a passive chest opening. You can still keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor if it's a little bit too intense in the lower part of the back. We're still allowing the sides of the body, particularly the back of the shoulders, the weight of the arms to surrender down towards the floor. Breathing deeply with a very relaxed face. This doesn't feel incredibly, it's not supposed to be really comfortable, but if it doesn't feel comfortable enough to hold, the block between your shoulder blades, shift it up or down by a centimetre or so at a time to find that sweet spot that really helps you to release tension from the back of the body. And on days when you do feel that sluggish, this is enough. This and breathing deeply, maybe for 5 minutes if you're over a block or a bolster, over a blanket or a bolster, maybe 3 minutes if you're up on the blocks. That's sufficient to change your energy, to change just in a little bit of positive action in your day, to create rather a little bit of positive action in your day. So for our last 3 breaths, see if you can melt even further any tension or holding patterns that you have in the body. And then when you're ready to come off your support, just using a little bit of effort in the tummy muscles, drawing the knees in to place the feet on the floor one at a time, and rolling to one side just enough that you can remove your support, whether that be the blanket or the blocks, placing them down somewhere handy, but where they won't get in the way, and rolling back onto your back, and just taking a moment to let your spine find this new position, the back of the body still softening, still breathing deeply. And when we're sluggish, it's sometimes a little bit about moving our energy as well. So let's start with let's progress rather with some long stretches. So stretching the legs out along your mat or your yoga space, breathing in, reaching your arms up, and first pressing your heels away from you, the backs of the hands towards the floor, doesn't matter if they don't reach, and the back of the body, so the low back towards the floor as well. Taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just relaxing your back, relaxing your feet, and relaxing the arms back over the body towards the hips. Let's do one more of those. Breathing in, Pressing through the heels, press the low back down, press the backs of the hands towards the floor and the fingertips away from you. Breathing out, relaxing the rest of the body and drawing the hands back down by the sides. Now pointing through the toes. This time we'll turn the palms towards the body. Breathing in, point the toes, let the low back come away from the mat. Stretch the fingertips away from you. And breathing out, relaxing the feet, relaxing the arms down to the side. Let the back find its natural position against the floor. One more of those. Breathing in, pointing toes, pointing fingers, palms facing towards each other. Reaching the front of the body up and relaxing as you exhale. And this time bending your knees into your chest and just holding behind the backs of the knees. And gently, with the knees apart, rocking from side to side. Really relaxed in the upper body. When you're ready, you can make little circles, or big circles as the case may be. And just begin to feel the body stirring, the hips, the low back, and in the opposite direction as well. So in any yoga practice, we are aiming to do the 6 movements of the spine. A forward bend, a backward bend, a left hand bend, a right hand bend to the side, and a left hand twist and a right hand twist. And if you're able to reverse the motion again, then an inversion, which means something upside down, and a balance, something where you have to hold your body in a shape that is challenging. So here we're going to bring our toes together, take the knees apart, and then hands on the knees, stir the knees together and apart. So beginning to, again, it's working with the hips and the low back and the low belly as well. Let's go in the opposite direction as well. But it's just a little bit more, doing it with our hands is a little bit less demanding for our body. You can, of course, do all of this without your hands. So we've done a passive back bend, and now we're doing a forward bend. We're going to hold the knees towards the body. And just take a couple of deep breaths. Now, if it's too intense to hold, here you can breathe in as you relax your knees slightly away from you. And breathe out, drawing the knees towards the chest. Breathe in, relaxing slightly away, but not letting go, and breathing out, knees to chest. Let's do one more of those. Breathing in, breathing out, and then if you can, holding or continuing to breathe in that way. So this is Apanasana. It's actually called the wind releasing posture. And if you have to release wind here, that's exactly what it's for. Let it go. It's the best kind of yoga. Good job. And then with the knees close to the body and close together, little circles in one direction and little circles in the other direction. Excellent. So we're just gently going to float one knee to the floor and then one foot to the floor, sorry, and then the other, and take the knees quite wide, the feet quite wide. So keep the feet and the knees in line. Try not to have the feet in but the knees out, or the opposite way around. And the arms can relax away from the body. It doesn't matter where. If you don't have a lot of space, just fold your arms in a little bit at the elbows and rest the backs of the hands towards the floor. And here, with a touch of effort in your tummy muscles, just enough to control the movement, swaying the knees from side to side. Not trying to get anywhere. We're not trying to get knees to the floor. Just a simple sway, an awakening of our energy at the base of the spine, an awakening of our hips, our pelvis, our abdominal muscles. But it's gentle, there's no expectation. And if you want to, if you feel like your body is opening, if you've got the space, you can move a little deeper, keeping it nice and slow and steady and controlled as well. And it might be that you don't ever feel ready to hold a position, a twist. But if you are, the next time your knees go to the left, just allowing yourself to rest into that position a little, relaxing the arms a little, maybe even turning the head gently from side to side in this position. Nice. And the other thing that you can do is you can take your left hand onto your right leg and sort of help it or push it. Maybe it's better the other. No, yeah, that's the just ease through, and at the same time stretch your right arm up and away. Gentle breath in, slow breath out. When you're ready, gently bring your right arm down, firm in the belly muscles to come back to the center. Little tiny sways from each side, to each side rather, and then allowing the knees to come down on the opposite side. I think on reflection, it's probably better to use your own effort to draw your left thigh towards the floor with your knees on the right side as you stretch your left hand over your head, rather than doing it with your hand. Super stuff. Couple of deep breaths. And remember, you don't have to hold if it's not comfortable, or if you don't want to. Just keep moving. That's part of the plan. And then after your next exhalation, just gently coming back to the center. And then here in the center, maybe a little few bridge postures. So with the feet just wherever they naturally fall and arms down by the sides, inhaling as you roll the hips up off the floor, maybe pressing down into the arms, exhaling down. You might even find it easier to do this with your elbows bent. So inhaling, pressing down into the upper arms, down into the shoulders, down into the feet, engaging the buttocks to come up, exhaling down. And it's, again, you don't need to get anywhere in particular. It's no particular shape you're trying to make. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more like this, inhaling up, exhaling down. This time we're going to come up and we're going to hold if you want to. Inhaling up to hold, and then making circles with your hips as if you were hula hooping in your bridge pose. And what that does is that really encourages our tummy muscles and our core muscles to activate. Let's go in the opposite way as well. If you can, keep your face relaxed. If you can, smile. One more in this direction. Then lifting up at the top and gently releasing all the way down. Nice. Draw your knees in towards your chest. You can hold behind the backs of the knees if you want to. And give a little sort of sway of the legs from side to side. Or do whatever motion you would like, whatever feels good to you. So floating the left foot down, cross the right ankle over the left thigh towards the knee. And if you can, get just the space above your ankle so that you don't bend your foot in an odd position to get into this position. So if this is not comfortable, it's okay, it's not necessary. But if you can do this, we're further going to awaken that energy in the center of the body by just floating the left knee towards us. So we're not using our arms here, and then making swaying motions. So just swaying the left knee from side to side. A little gentle flexion into the feet to activate them, make them awake. And then if swaying side to side feels really good, try some circles. Try some circles with your knee. Excellent. And you'll find that your tummy muscles just have to wake up. Let's go the other way to be able to do this. You don't really need to force them into action. They are awake as a result of doing this position. We're going to bring the feet back to the center and then float the left foot to the floor. Lengthen the right leg up and just rotate the foot at the ankle a few times in each direction. Give it a stretch out. And then right foot on the floor, crossing the left leg over. So hopefully the foot is free. So it's not resting on the outside of the foot. It's the ankle or the shin. Touch of tummy engagement to float the right knee towards us, and starting with some swaying from side to side. And it might be that your sway is very small. That's okay. Don't push through any resistance in the body. Meet it, or even just move towards it and then away, towards it and then away. When you're ready, if you want to, you can add a circular movement to your right leg. The left leg simply holds its position and follows, and that's what gives us this beautiful feeling of opening around the left hip. Let's reverse our motion. And you can do as much or as little as you like. There's no obligation. And then when you're ready, bringing the feet back to center, right foot down, left leg extends to wherever the left leg extends to. It doesn't matter if the knee is bent or straight. And rolling the foot at the ankle. Very good. Both knees now into the chest and hugging your chest towards your knees just a little. You can hold underneath the back of the knees if it's more comfortable. We're going to use a little bit of rocking motion to rock from the shoulders to the sit bones. And if you can, when you rock up, just balancing. This is our balance in our practice. So a few times, I know you'll be tempted to just come straight up to sitting, but we're trying to massage some life into the back of the body as well. Some stirring of the energy there. When you're ready, you can come up to sitting and simply hold for a moment, balancing on your sit bones before letting the feet come to the floor. And then we're going to finish with some side bending. So here it's taking any comfortable position. You can kneel if you want to. You can sit up on something if it feels better to do that. And we'll take the hands to the sides and simply lift as we breathe in, and then bend to the side as we breathe out. Lift to center, breathing in, bending to the opposite side, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Doesn't really matter how far you go. If you feel inclined, you can use your other arm as well. Very good. When you're ready, you could hold in your side bend if you wanted to, or you can pulse into it a little bit if you wanted to. And here, we're also going to rotate in the upper body. So in our side bend, just a gentle rotation, a gentle spiral. Coming back to center when you're ready, going to the opposite side. Holding, if you're happy, just holding, or maybe just gently moving into and out of that end of your side bend. And then if you want to, rotating as well. And when you're ready, coming back to center. Bringing your hands to the center of your chest, just resting one on top of the other. Closing your eyes, finding that deep, slow breath. Noticing how you feel in your body, and hopefully you feel a little more lively. And if you don't, that's okay. At least you've given your body the opportunity to move today. And that is enough. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to Namaste. Gently bend your head, chin towards your chest. Your day is already better because you've done yoga. So you can smile if you're inclined. And when you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Namaste. I hope that your week gets even better from here. Just a little yoga every day.